Good morning, Dubai. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through the trending stories that everyone across the country and the world sometimes are talking about. Our top story for you today, the UAE welcomes the ceasefire between Iran and Israel.
And Dubai cracks down on illegal apartment partitions.
We're talking about Telegram founder Pavel Durov and his $13.9 billion fortune, and he's announced it's going to his 106 children.
And the UAE man was jailed for paying a sorceress 30,000 dirhams to win back his wife.
Wow. Love story or horror movie? We're not quite sure. Later on in the show, we've got TikTok star Rosie, Routledge. She's going to get real about dating in Dubai, life for expats, and also just the realities of living in Dubai and the expenses that go with it.
And in today's rapid weather report, it's mostly sunny with temperatures ranging from 29 Celsius to 43 Celsius. I'm not feeling like it's 29 Celsius.
What do you mean?
I feel like it's 40.
No, it's so much cooler.
What do you mean it's so much cooler?
We're having a dip.
Are we?
It's 29. The mornings, the last 2 days, there's been a cool breeze.
It's bearable to walk outside your home and to your car, and that's it.
There's been a cool breeze. This is the dip before the...
July is the hottest month
so
of
if
the
you're not
year.
enjoying it right now, get yourself a personal fan, which I hear all the rage these days. They actually work.
You know, but with this heat, they don't work. That's the thing.
Huh?
With this heat, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
that's
let's be real.
Blasting hot air.
The heat just clings to you at this point. But I do feel like there's a dip. Okay, so wedding of the year is coming. I'm getting married.
Congratulations, Casey. I'm so excited for you.
But before that, the bigger wedding of the year is coming. But thank you. Okay, so Jeff Bezos, an Amazon founder, in case you didn't know, and Lauren Sanchez, his wife-to-be, former journalist, they're going to get married in Venice very shortly, around about now, we think. And they're having a wedding that costs 7 to 10 million, but there's a lot of controversy that surrounds it, so I'll just jump into a little bit. We're going to see celebs like Kim Kardashian, Leonardo DiCaprio, they're all coming. Venues around the city. We might see Jeff Bezos' yacht come up to into Venice. But all the locals are saying, no, thank you. They don't want it.
They don't want it?
They don't want Jeff Bezos.
The locals in Venice?
Yeah.
They don't want Jeff Bezos? Why?
To the tune of this.
If you can rent Venice for your wedding, you can pay more taxes. Ooh, okay.
And the photo they've used makes him look like an evil genius in some way.
It's because of the controversy. Okay, I get it. I've heard a lot of controversy about Amazon, about them not paying their employees, about escaping the taxes. But I don't know how accurate those are.
But it's also about straining the city's infrastructure itself. And they think that it will just promote over-tourism. And Venice is having its own problems in terms of too many people.
Yeah, that's an issue. I've been to Venice and it's very crowded.
And it's going to get even now, the fact that we're talking about Venice, you were there recently.
Yeah, I was there recently.
And was it crowded?
It was super crowded.
Yeah.
It was really crowded. But it's a beautiful city, but I think I understand what they mean in terms of renting the city. I wouldn't call it renting the city. Did he block?
Well, they're going to have to close. So private jets are going to be coming in, strain on the environment. They're going to have to reserve water taxi areas for all these fancy people. Now, the activists who've done this, they're planning to even disrupt the canals and streets. So think about you're planning your wedding and you've got hundreds of people planning against you who are probably going to find the areas that you're closing, and they're going to be waving pick-cards, I imagine.
Listen, I think I'm against protesting in someone's wedding. This is someone's big day, okay? But I understand where people are coming from. But at the same time, I'm not really with his plan of blocking Venice and using it as a wedding venue for himself and his wives.
Sorry.
I mean, maybe she might have a long veil for you and your wife, okay? I don't think it's the best idea to rent out like a whole city to block people from walking in and to use it as a wedding venue. Like imagine I'm using Dubai as my wedding venue.
But he's not closing it off to tourism.
Okay, but still, like they will still be blocked. They'll have securities.
That'll be high security.
And I think they want to use the cute little nice area of Venice.
Yes,
Not the other side of Venice.
I didn't name the areas, but maybe you know them. Secolo Grande della Misericordia.
Don't put me on the spot like that.
That was my accent. I'm sorry, it could have been better.
I mean, I only know boats and...
Where?
Boats and lakes.
What's the lakes? What's the lakes? It looks nice. Yeah, but is that so? He's got the money, so he can do it. But is it fair on the locals?
I don't think it's fair on the locals, and I think already people are so annoyed from the overcrowding and the tourists. Because if I'm not wrong, let me check the amount of tourists Italy gets in a year. Number of tourists.
Yeah, I really think that's worth considering because maybe if that place holds dear to them, maybe they had their first date there. That doesn't mean that you
have to
over amplify the area. It's basically like it's your hidden gem and you're telling people all about it.
So in 2023, Italy welcomed 57.3 million tourists. Wow. And it's all year round. It's obviously heavier during the summer, but it's all year round.
I think Instagram is to blame. Like we all, like you look at all these beautiful places. But this is what we were talking about yesterday. Like the Arab world needs more moments on the feed because we have beautiful places, but they just don't get pushed. Anyway, someone's saying.
Nevertheless, okay, I'm not gonna lie to myself, but I'm excited to see what's gonna come out of this wedding and the images and pictures.
Yeah, same.
Protests or dresses?
I'm on the local side, but it's happening, so excited to see how it turns out. Someone, Sally Ramoni, is saying, shows how much money have power. Yeah,
true.
You've got the cash.
Money means power.
Money means power, unfortunately. Let's jump in to our top story of the day. The UAE welcomes the ceasefire between Iran and Israel. The United Arab Emirates has welcomed the announcement of a ceasefire, which now looks to be holding between the Islamic Republic of Iran and State of Israel, and expressed hope that this development will mark a step towards de-escalation and pave the way for an environment conducive to regional stability.
And in a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, MOFA, commended the diplomatic efforts of the US President Donald Trump and the constructive role of His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Emir of the State of Qatar, in facilitating the conclusion of this agreement. The UAE stressed the importance of continued effective coordination to prevent further escalation and to mitigate the humanitarian and security repercussions across the region.
So what do we know as of now? The ceasefire between Iran and Israel appears to be holding, though it remains fragile. Both nations have acknowledged the truce brokered by US President Donald Trump, which took place on June 24th following 12 days of intense conflict. The ceasefire itself was then initially marred by initial accusations of violations from both sides. There was further escalation, which has also since been halted after Trump's intervention, which included a direct call to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, which reports saying Trump was extremely angry and frustrated, and he also shared tweets to that, or posts to other social media platform, not X, Truth Social, showing his anger with what was going on.
And closer to home, people are keen monitoring flights as they may prepare to travel for the summer. So Wizz Air Abu Dhabi confirms that all flights to and from the United Arab Emirates on 25th June have been cancelled following a decision by Wizz Air Group, while Dubai Airports issued an announcement saying due to regional airspace closures, flights from DXB and DWC Al Maktoum International may be impacted. So please check with your airline for the latest updates before heading to the airport, especially for guests traveling to India.
Which I thought was interesting.
I know, okay. I was a little bit confused when I saw that Wizz Air was closing on.
Well, Wizz Air is not a local airline.
Yeah, it's not a local airline.
And it's a budget airline. And what we can maybe assume is with routes, with certain airspaces being closed for safety reasons, the routes are getting longer. So our flights are getting longer. So potentially the cost on fuel is maybe higher. That's just a suggestion. But we actually asked our audience if following the recent tensions, are you more likely to cancel your holidays and stay here this summer, considering we feel that we're in possibly one of the safest places. And majority of people said yes, staying right here.
The people around me are all, they still want to have their summer plans this year. They still want to travel. I still want to travel to Jordan. So I was happy when I heard that news. I'm like, oh, there's the de-escalation.
Which news specifically?
The ceasefire agreement. which means flights will be back up, hopefully.
Well, most flights are running now, but they're just, especially from local airlines, are all running, but with delays. As they said yesterday, DXB, get there early, especially so many people are travelling the next few days. Schools are ending.
Schools are ending. The roads are clear.
The roads are getting more clear. I think there's a few days now when it's a bit of a grey area for schools and kids. It's like, are we going? Because the younger kids are finished or the older kids are finished, so it's a quieter time.
I feel like the road traffic is like lighter nowadays, and it just feels so good because I'm reaching my house earlier.
Makes such a difference. Well, enjoy that now.
I'll enjoy it for the next 2 months.
Unless you get
school again.
Unless you get your trip to Jordan.
I will get my trip to Jordan.
Okay, good.
100% I'll get my trip to Jordan.
So you're on the still planning to travel?
Still planning to travel.
Yeah, me too. If you check our WhatsApp poll and you would like to join the conversation on WhatsApp, over 1,000 people said staying right here. Whether or not they'd booked a holiday though, TBC. Some people are still going because of non-refundable hotel bookings.
Yes.
Right? And some people are undecided and they're going to see how it plays out. I know certain people who've cancelled their trips because of what's happened in the last few days.
I think a lot of people cancelled, but maybe they just want to postpone it for now. Maybe postpone it till the end of July, postpone it till August.
Yeah.
Hopefully things will
make sense. Let's jump in to our next story.
So Dubai cracks down on illegal apartment partitions. So Dubai is stepping up its enforcement against illegal housing partitions and overcrowded accommodations. So with eviction videos now going viral online, these partitions, which are unauthorized divisions of residential units, are often built without proper approval, creating a serious fire and safety risk by blocking ventilations and emergency exits.
These would also contribute to overcrowding, and then with that, it brings, hygiene issues, noise issues, and also health concerns. And the penalties, by the way, are steep. So if you're caught in sharing apartments illegally, you can face fines of up to 50,000 dirham and forced eviction as well. According to Article 24 of Law Number 26 of 2007, subletting or co-sharing any property requires explicit written consent from the landlord.
And the Dubai Municipality and the Dubai Land Department are currently inspecting high-density neighborhoods such as Al Rikka, Al Muraqabat, Al Barsha, and Al Satwa. Social media has been flooded with clips showing the clampdown in action as authorities dismantle illegal partitions and clear out packed flats. So I think people are not realizing how risky those illegal partitions can be. It's blocking exits. It can be a fire hazard. But come to think about it, is it the residents' fault or is it the landlord's fault?
The landlord's.
It's the landlord's fault. If they know this is a hazard, if they're aware of this hazard, and you're allowing it to happen just to get more cash, totally your fault.
Totally landlord's fault. And it seems like with so many videos being shared, it seems like this is a surprise to people, and you really feel for, in this weather, if this is happening. But with the laws as they are, in safety precautions, when you see things happen in buildings and you think, are the regulations being followed? It's really down to the landlord. Like if you're on a certain salary and you're able to save a lot on rent
by being part of the partitions,
by living in shared accommodation. Like we've had multiple people on the show started off in shared accommodation because that's what you can afford, then you're going to do it. But I really know, I knew someone who lived in shared accommodation and they knew the owner of the accommodation well, and it's a money-making racket.
It's a money-making thing, yeah.
Landlords are really profiting off people and not thinking about the living environment, not thinking about the hygiene, not thinking about how many shared accommodations in one building will really damage the building because the building doesn't have the infrastructure for it.
You feel for the people that are evicted because a lot of videos that emerge, people that are worrying, it's like where are they going to go next? And this is where they lived for the past 3 years, for the past few years.
Gosh.
But at the same time, it's not entirely their fault. You feel for them, you sympathize for them, but the overcrowdedness in certain areas, the landlords are not thinking about the maximum amount of numbers that you can have in one shared room. It's, let aside its hygiene or overcrowdedness, but at the same time, it's not ethical. It's not really ethical to have multiple people living in one room.
Yeah, you're right.
But I'm sure the Dubai police are in on it to help those people maybe find different accommodations. They're not going to leave them hanging like that or in the streets. But I think really necessary in terms of safety because, God forbid, but at the same time, we've heard fire stories happening. If this is blocking exits, if this is a fire hazard, might be a bigger issue than just money making or like overcrowdedness.
Yeah, you're so right. So true. More on that as we get it. We feel like this is a developing story, so we'll keep you updated on our feed. Let's jump in to our next story of the day. Pavel Durov is leaving his $13 billion fortune to his 106 kids. So Pavel Durov, who actually has Dubai citizenship, he's also the founder of Telegram. He is worth approximately $13.9 billion. And he told Le Point magazine that he's got 106 kids and they will inherit his fortune. But however, it won't be until like 30 years from now, and it's all in his will.
So he said that for now, he wants his children to live like normal people and not rely on wealth. He zoned in on the importance of self-reliance and creativity over financial dependence.
So a little bit of background to this story. The 40-year-old said he had 6 children conceived naturally with 3 partners. However, he's also fathered over 100 additional children through sperm donation.
And Drew said that all his 106 children will have equal rights to his fortune, meaning each could inherit around $131 million.
So interesting.
So interesting.
So, like, where to start?
First of all, whenever I look at this man, sometimes he looks like he's a man in his 20s. Sometimes he looks like he's a man in his 40s. Sometimes he looks like he's in his 30s. I can't tell. I know he's 40.
Oh, is he 40?
I
think he's the perfect picture of someone who has devoted his life to discipline health,
100%.
Longevity.
Yeah.
Like if you see the photos on his Instagram, check it out. Like he's clearly a perfectionist, I would say.
Yeah.
And he started one of the biggest social media apps in the world, Telegram. He's based in Dubai. He loves the city for all of the benefits that it brings. And then on the side, he's got 6 biological kids. He's 100 through sperm donation, which I think is amazing.
It's crazy. Does he? I have so many questions for him, by the way, especially when it comes to his kids. Do you see each and every one of them? Does he meet them?
I would imagine like
6 children maybe.
Imagine, yeah, he would. I'm sure he'd see the 6. We don't know, but imagine all of the, like if someone is watching, could give us some details on it. But if you are going down that route, for example, if I can't conceive, for example, I might go down that route, and then there would be certain rules in place as to like any contact or maybe contact when you're 18. Imagine if at the age of 18, you find out. Did you ever, like when you were younger, be like, maybe one day I'll find out like it's all a ruse and I'm a millionaire? Did you ever have that? It's like one day.
Yeah, I've always had it. It's like, oh, they're lying to me, you know? Yeah. They're just teaching me discipline. Yeah. We're actually rich in real life.
And that's actually going to happen for these kids, 131 million.
Oh my God, I wouldn't believe it. I would think it's a scam.
But he's saying, but it's real, but he's saying he doesn't want to just hand it to them, which is...
Well, if you're, let's say you're a rich parent, hopefully you will be a rich parent. Hopefully, how would you spoil your kids? I'm not saying like where they grow up to become spoiled brats. Where would you show them that luxurious life, or would you want them to live a normal life, just like how he's explaining it?
Normal life.
Normal life.
Yeah.
Or would you? But if you worked hard towards this life, would you not want your kids to have like a easier, high-end life? It's
so difficult because you'll want to give your child every opportunity in life. So in some ways they will be spoiled.
Yeah.
Hopefully will have a great education. But at the same time, to really succeed in life, I believe people need drive and they need determination. And if you have everything handed to you, that's why I find like some people are so inspiring because, you know, they have everything, but yet they still work so hard. But I do think that not having everything when you're younger gives you more of a drive.
True.
And that's difficult for parents to balance that tightrope because you want to give them everything, but at the same time, you know that giving everything could be their downfall.
Yeah. And they'd be too dependent on you. They wouldn't want to work or they know they have a safety net.
What do you think?
I think I would give them like the taste of that
business class once. and then back to economy. Could you imagine? It's like something you never do. We're just going to fly business class once. You know how the other half live, and then back to economy.
And then back to work towards that.
Work towards that. That's your goal.
This is the goal that you want. I would give them a little bit taste of that life, but I would teach them discipline. Like I would expect things from them, and do well at school, get into the best universities, because I am giving you that chance. Like you have that chance, you have that opportunity, but you have to work towards it. So don't be lazy because you're too financially dependent on me.
Get a job.
Get a job
when you're young.
Get a job.
Work in the house.
Yeah, work in the chores.
Chores.
And just, I think they have a chance. Just don't let it get away from you, because a lot of people might not have the same accessibility.
I just hope if I have kids, I hope they're nice. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Like I hope they're not like I was. They're not brats. Time is running away from us this morning. It's 8:51. Let's jump into our next story. UAE man has been jailed for paying sorcerers 30,000 dirham to win back his wife.
So a man in Fujairah has been sentenced to 6 months in jail and had personal digital materials confiscated after paying 30,000 dirhams to multiple spiritual healers in an attempt to use black magic to win back his estranged wife. The case confirmed by the Fujairah Court of Appeal also involved privacy violations, as the man shared personal photos and videos of his wife and her family via WhatsApp.
What are the stories today? The wife filed a police complaint after being contacted by a woman claiming to have proof of her husband's actions. She submitted the WhatsApp chats, images of spells and photos as evidence.
Oh my God.
The man admitted to contacting 3 women online, paying the first lady 20,000 dirham and sending personal images and contact details. When she demanded more money and then threatened exposure, he sought help from 2 more ladies, paying one of them 10,000 dirham.
And the wife, who had left the marital home due to abuse and filed for divorce, was offered the proof by one of the women in exchange for 35,000 dirhams. When she refused to pay without seeing the evidence, the woman sent the materials anyway.
She was trying to scam.
She's trying to scam.
The man was convicted of 4 charges: fraud and sorcery, endangering others, privacy violations, and unlawfully sharing private contact. The appellate court upheld the original ruling, stating it was based on solid legal grounds, and the 6-month sentence remains in place. At the heart of this is a woman who left a marriage because of abuse. So we're so glad that at the end she's getting some type of financial reward from this. But we're sorry
and
that
a justice reward as well.
a justice reward. We're sorry that she had to go through this, clearly from someone who is
insane,
damaged in some
not
way,
mentally well.
He wanted her back.
Story. Yeah, he wanted her back, but he saw it like a witchcraft thing. I think because a lot of people believe in witchcraft, superstitions, sorcerers, where you do black magic on people to make them fall in love with you again or to get you back.
I can't believe there's people out there who
pay a lot
are
of
money for this type of
It's scary,
act.
by the way. It's
very scary.
Very
It sounds
scary.
like a Netflix movie.
Yeah,
show.
And apparently he paid a lot of money, and he was willing to pay 3 women to get her back. I think if this man went to such lengths, even after she filed for divorce, I fear for her safety, because he is not mentally well. She suffered from abuse, which made her file for divorce. He was still obsessing over her. He wanted her back. Not safe for a woman at all, but alhamdulillah, like, we live in the UAE. How scary was it to live with such mentality, or a man that was obsessive to the point where you'd go to 3 sorcerers to try to win your wife back? But can we say something? One of the women tried to get money off of her, but I think she still felt bad.
I hope, she said, no, I think she just wasn't smart, but let me just send you the evidence anyway. So the woman was able to use that to go to the police.
But God loves this woman, by the way, by showing her the evidence and everything. Really, God loves this woman. May God protect this woman as well, because I fear for her.
I'd like to nearly jump into, if I was really trying to get someone back, what's the furthest lengths I'd go? Removing myself from that situation. But I think, a few texts.
A few texts and that's it.
Or like constant texts.
A lot of people are crazy.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be
A lot
going.
of people are crazy.
I wouldn't be.
My advice is just take yourself out of the situation. Always take yourself out of the situation. If someone
It
doesn't
looks
like
desperate.
He looks very desperate.
It's very desperate. Speaking of, let's talk dating with people who have a better idea than us. We're so excited to welcome Rosie Routledge. She is a TikTok star in Dubai. So we're going to talk about dating, expats, and the realities of life in Dubai. Do stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is Rosie Routledge, your go-to girl for all things Dubai life, from sharing the real side of dating in the city to guiding expat life to keeping it honest and totally relatable. Rosie's content is the guide you didn't know you needed. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited.
So for people who don't know who Rosie is and what your type of content is, can you describe what it is?
Yeah, so I feel like my content is quite real and raw. I do make a lot of content about dating in Dubai, lots of things, just about life in general in Dubai, what to do, places to go, affordable things to do, bougie things to do.
Nice.
So yeah, just giving an insight into living in Dubai.
All the important things that we need.
Yes.
But give us an insight about you. Like, when did you move to Dubai? Are you an OG or is it more of a recent thing?
No, I'm not an OG. I've been here a year now. Mm-hmm. I'm from near Manchester back home, very small town, so quite the contrast coming here. But yeah, I started doing real estate, which I feel like most people do when they come here. That didn't work out. So yeah, now I'm focusing more on content. I feel like it's just not for me. It's a very difficult job. I feel like a lot of people come, try it out. Some people succeed and do really well, and others don't. But I feel like I needed to try it because it's just part of Dubai life. Come, try real estate. But it wasn't for me.
So interesting.
And by the way, we've heard a lot of influencers from all over the world that are coming to Dubai. Why do you think so many people are attracted to Dubai?
Lifestyle, I think, being the main thing. It's so glitz and glam. It's so like such a forward city. It's clean. I feel like that's one big thing. And yeah, just lifestyle. But I think a lot of that is not actually the reality here. I mean, it is, but there's definitely like two sides of Dubai, I think, yeah. Which is what I'm kind of trying to show now, the other side of Dubai, that you don't have to be in a Lamborghini, you don't have to do this, you can go to Kite Beach, do a nice walk, there's other things you can do here, yeah.
And did you know that before you moved?
Well, I've been here on holiday a lot before I moved, but I think living here and being on holiday are two very different things, which people did tell me before I moved here, but I think, yeah, coming on holiday, you see that side, the luxury side, the nice restaurants, bars, everything. And then when you live here, obviously day to day is just quite mundane and boring. So I feel like that can be like quite challenging as well to change and be like, oh, normal life here is just normal life anyway, really. But it's what you make it, isn't it?
But I have to ask, what was your biggest cultural shock, if you had any, here in Dubai?
I don't really feel like I have, to be honest. I feel like Dubai feels very, very much like home. There's a lot of British expats here. So, yeah, I don't think I've really felt that much, to be honest. Yeah.
And if there's someone watching now who's thinking of moving, potentially taking on a real estate job, what's one piece of advice you would give them?
Do your research for sure, and just come have fun with it. I feel like you need to give it at least 3 months. That would be my rule of thumb, because obviously moving to a new place, it's scary, and you need time to settle, meet new friends, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, just take it as it comes, yeah.
We often hear that newcomers here in Dubai, they'd say that once they come in Dubai, if they didn't grow up here, they didn't have their education here, they'd feel a bit lonely. Was that the case for you?
Yes, yeah. I think Dubai and any city in the world, a big city, can be quite lonely. But again, I think you've really got to put yourself out there. That's one thing. You can't, if you just stay at home, you're not going to make any friends. Same with dating. If you just stay at home, you're not going to meet anyone. You have to put yourself out there, go and make new friends, meet new people. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do now. I feel like I've been here a year now and I'm still feeling that. So, and I think actually after a year, I was quite down when I got to a year and I wasn't expecting that. And I think you kind of have these like expectations of what you should have done by a year, or it's quite a milestone. So yeah, I still feel that now. I think you really do have to put yourself out there.
And it's a continuous thing, I would say, because people keep leaving as
well.
Yeah,
people come and people go.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, literally, it's so hard.
Do you think having a big presence online makes it easier or harder to make friends?
It makes it, well, I don't know, probably a little bit of both, because I feel like online people will have this like perception of you that might not necessarily be the real you. So I think it depends on the people that you're meeting, but definitely it's good for networking, and just interacting with new people. Like I'll go out and people say to me, oh, you're that girl on TikTok, and I'm like, oh. But I feel like your videos, they must reach the right kind of audience for the right people to see you, so. Yeah,
it's true. We all find the dating in Dubai content.
Yeah, that's the one that seems to do the
all over
best.
everyone's For You page, dating in Dubai content. But you started a specific series. It's called Broken Dubai.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna have to ask you from the expert herself.
Yes.
What's your go-to budget spot and hack here in Dubai?
Oh God, you're putting me under pressure now. Well, I don't know, to be honest, because I've just kind of started it. I'm still doing my research. I'm trying to find affordable things to do. I've kind of done like quite a few, but I feel like the more I go, it's probably going to get harder to find things because I've done it all. But I feel like in the summer, there's lots of things now that I've been researching where you can go and get good deals and stuff. A lot of people say like, this shouldn't be in this series because the price is not fair, but I guess it's subjective. But I'm trying to think of things that are like 100 dirham and less that people can do. But yeah, it wouldn't include going out to the bougie bars. I don't think that's really an option, but you know, activities, there are things you can do. It's obviously harder in the summer, I think, because things are indoors, so you would have to pay, but in the winter, there's lots of things you can do that are free.
We've been just saying like summer here is it's a bit boring. There isn't much to do. But I think we can find indoor hacks and indoor activities.
Yeah. Again, comes back to it is what you make it. So more time indoors in the summer, I think.
Speaking of what you make it, we've touched on dating, so let's dive a little bit deeper. You have a series called Dating in Dubai. Do you think after you're living here, it is easy to meet the one in Dubai?
No, definitely not. But I do meet some people who have found someone here and they're engaged, they're getting married, they're having a kid now. So I guess it happens, but I think it's definitely harder. I think especially coming from like a smaller town where there's less people, I think you would be more likely to meet someone in that setting. People come here and there's so many like attractive people, there's so much to see, and I think people just get lost in it all, and no one wants anything serious, so I think it's definitely harder to find.
So what do you think is the biggest red flag?
My biggest red flag? That's a good question. Maybe guys who on dating apps, people don't put like their pictures of their face. They'll just put pictures of like flowers, cars, money, and I'm like, that is the biggest red flag, because number one, you've probably got a girlfriend if you're not posting your own face on there. Or even same just on like Instagram, guys will have an account and there's just nothing on there, no face, nothing. So I think that's the biggest tell.
Yeah,
oh you've clearly got something. How can you meet someone and not even know what they look like? You know?
Yeah, it is scary. And this reminds me of something. Do you remember that Facebook page? What was it called?
Who's that guy anyway?
Or are you dating
we dating the same guy?
Are we dating the same guy?
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that group. But they have them everywhere, every city. But I think it's a really good thing that because. Yeah. But I mean, I had to log off of that because I feel like it's not good for your mentals. Yeah, because then you just, if that's all you're taking
worried.
in, you just think everyone's bad. So. trying not to do that so much now.
Honestly, very same. I got out of those groups because I was like, it's giving me trust issues.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
seriously.
And you hear all these crazy stories and it's like, oh my God, I'm going to be single for the rest of my life.
So those stories, if you haven't seen them, they're a bit on the more infidelity, but you also share stories that are kind of more lighthearted about dating. For example, the one, you basically got car catfished.
Yes, yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I feel like that video did really well because I feel like a lot of people wanted to trash me and say like, oh, well, I'm just looking for money, blah, 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 which I get it, fair enough. But I feel like in a place like Dubai, it's very give and take. That's what I feel, you know. Men want women for their looks and women want men for their money. I feel like that is the top and bottom of it. But anyway, I went on the date regardless. And I'm not that kind of person. I could have just left, you know, but he came. Anyway, backstory, if anyone's not seen it. He, like his dating profile had Lamborghinis, G-Wagons, all that kind of thing. And then he came and picked me up in a Nissan Sunny. And then, which is fine, that's okay. I still went on the date, but his attitude throughout the date was just not good at all. He had a very big ego, that's what I'll say. And yeah, it was probably the worst day of my life. So I probably shouldn't have gone in the first place, to be honest. But yeah.
Tell me about the comments, because I don't think it's like a gold digger thing or something to, if someone presents a certain type of image, that's what you're doing with your photos, to turn up in a different image.
It's a lie.
Regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
So
I'm on your side, 100%.
Yeah.
Pretending to be someone you're not.
Exactly.
So it's a lie. It's a red flag.
And what's the point in that? Because then as soon as you go, you're going to know that that's not real. So it's the same thing if I like edited my pictures to the highest degree and then went and looked nothing like my photos, I'm sure he would have something to say. Yeah.
With the types of comments you get on your videos, because they're hitting, what, 1 million views or something, like, does it make you nervous about sharing like another story and another story?
Yeah, it does for sure. I feel like I'm more like careful, I guess. Like I think about the content a bit more now. But it's frustrating because those are the ones that do the best, the ones that are more gossipy and people love to kind of jump on. And I feel like sometimes the ones that do well, it's like the way I thought of it, it's like perceived completely different. And then that's when people really start jumping on it. But I mean, I can't complain because then they do really well. So,
but how are the comment section like? Do you get attacked? Do you get supporters? Do you get backlash?
Yes, I get a lot of that.
And is it from a specific gender or is it?
More men, I would say, to be fair. Yeah, I get all kinds of things, comments on the way I look, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, and it depends on the day. Like most of the time I brush it off, but there's been a couple of times when it's been my time of the month, you know, and it's got to me. Because it does sometimes, like there's like hundreds and hundreds of people saying stuff, but then it's like I am putting myself out there, so
they're
trolls,
you've got to take that's what they do.
Yeah, and they would never say it to your face.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, they would never.
Never.
Have you ever deleted a video?
No, not yet. I've maybe thought about it, but I haven't, no. But sometimes, when you get a lot of feedback and a lot of comments. But I think it always becomes like conflicted. People in the comments will be like, oh, there's nothing wrong with what she said. Other people will be like, oh, yeah. So people have different opinions, I guess, and that's part of it.
You usually respond to comments or do you just leave them?
I do respond to comments, yeah. Some people say I shouldn't, but I do. Mostly for engagement at the beginning. I'll just keep commenting back. And then it gets to a certain point and I'm like, okay, I don't need to reply to anyone now. Because then other people start arguing in my comments with each other. So I'm like, okay, I'm done now.
If you're going on a date, would you rather a man who splits the bill or who goes all out on date one? We're talking like OTT, flowers, gift, picking you up.
Yeah, that one. The latter. For sure. I don't mind, like first date, I don't want to pay 50-50 if I'm being real. But later down the line, I think a guy should do the most, but I don't mind, you know, if he's got this, I'll get this later on. But I feel like the first date is a time where they should be putting their best foot forward. And I don't like it when people are like, oh, let's go for a walk on the first date or come over to my hotel for the first date. I'm like, come on, be real now. So yeah, the more effort, the better, I think.
What do you think is the most expensive date you've been taken on first date? And was it good?
I wouldn't say I've been on any super expensive dates. Nice. I've been to C'est La Vie a couple of times. I like it there. That's a really nice place. Royal Atlantis, I guess, but nothing too crazy.
Still
No
fancy.
Lamborghinis
Fancy.
yet. So
But still fancy.
I
though.
mean,
Yeah.
shout out Royal Atlantis on a first date.
yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
fun. Fun. It's
yeah,
fun.
it's fun. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If someone asked you what is your ideal first date, what would it be?
It would be something like that. Nice dinner.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I feel like a lot of people say, oh, let's go and do an activity for a first date. But for me, I feel like if we can't sit across from each other and have a chat for a couple of hours, then what's the point? Because I feel like people go to, activities, cinema, just kind of to make it less awkward.
Yeah.
But I feel like let's go, have a chat, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work,
I did a cinema first date before. It was so awkward.
Yeah,
Not because
it's-
I'm so awkward, but it was awkward.
Yeah, I just feel like what's the point? Because you can't even chat to each other, can you?
You need to chat.
Yeah.
So let's be positive for a little bit. What do you think is the biggest green flag in the city?
Green flag in the city, the safety. It's got to be the safety, I think. Every time I go back home, and the cleanliness again. I just think Dubai in general,
Yeah.
you get used to this standard of living that's just insane, and it's never going to be matched anywhere else. Everyone's so friendly. Clean, neat, tidy. You can leave your front door open and nothing's going to
Yeah.
happen. You just can't get that anywhere else, can you? And I think another really good green flag, this place motivates you to do so well. I feel like back home, everyone's just out partying every weekend and you're living for the weekend and then they go back to work sad and depressed. I feel like here there's very much, the 5 a.m. run club. I mean, I'm not a member of that. I'm not going to lie. Maybe someday. But, there's the health and wellness is a really big thing here, which you can kind of tap into both lifestyles, but it seems to be a really big thing. I think people just see this lifestyle, nice cars, good jobs, and it makes you want that as well. So it makes you work harder. So, I think it's a really good place to be.
And you're full-time social media.
Yes, we're getting there, yeah.
Amazing. So, I mean, you've kind of lived the dream. You came to Dubai a year ago, working real estate, and now you're TikTok, Instagram, huge accounts, and you're full-time. For someone wanting to do the same thing, should they go down the TikTok route, go down the Instagram route? What would you tell them if they want to take their first step into social media?
TikTok is the way to go. It really is. I mean, now I've started posting more on Instagram and I am getting there, but if you want faster growth, TikTok is the way to go. And it wasn't even in my plan. I just made a video when I was moving apartments and it did really well. So then I was just off the back of that, okay, let me make another video. And then, started growing like that.
How can you earn money, a living from TikTok?
No, from collaborations, but not from actual TikToks here, which is frustrating because I know back home you can get the creator fund. But it is what it is. I'd rather be here in the sunshine than back home. So, yeah.
So, what is what's on your vision board for the next year?
I don't really know. I'm just going with the flow to keep growing, obviously. I have lots of different ideas of content, series and stuff that I want to do.
Nice.
But just keep growing, keep meeting people, keep networking. I feel like networking is a very big thing in Dubai. So the more people you know, the more knowledge you have, and see where things take me.
Well, the very best of luck to you. Before
you.
you leave us, can you play a little game with us called Pop the Balloon?
Yes, of course. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we're going to give you some balloons.
This is like the dating show thing.
Kind of. We're going to say things about guys, and if you think it's icky, you'll pop the balloon.
Okay.
Okay. So
There'll be a few then, I'm sure.
well, we've got 4 balloons.
Okay, we need more.
The popper. Okay, so
you.
pop the balloon if with Rosie, Routledge. They go to brunch every weekend.
Every weekend is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And I've seen the way that they move in there, so yeah.
Get it. Next one.
Okay, so next one, if they're very active on Instagram and Snapchat.
Snapchat, yeah.
Snapchat is a deal breaker for a
Yeah,
lot of people.
I feel like why have you got Snapchat if you're like a 35-year-old man?
Yeah.
Clearly, you're just using that to talk to girls.
It's easier to hide conversations on Snapchat.
Yeah.
So it is a deal breaker for a lot of people.
Did you know about that thing on WhatsApp now where you can like hide the conversation? Like in the chat, like you have to have a keyword to find the chat.
No
so if you do have a partner, there's no way that they would find it because the keyword could be like, I don't know, shoes or something, and you would have to search that to find the chat.
Mark Zuckerberg is not helping us out here. And what about if they're active on Instagram?
I mean, that's okay, I guess.
Instagram's okay.
As I just don't be following loads of girls, you know, which I feel like they do that, but that's a red flag for sure.
So if they talk about their salary on their first date.
Yeah.
Confetti.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like, I feel like you're showing off probably. So I feel like don't do too much. If you've got a good salary, like that's fine. Keep it to yourself. That would show at some point. And I also feel like, especially in Dubai, I've had this where I've dated guys where they're like, I don't have any money. I don't earn a lot of money. And I'm kind of like, oh, okay, like that's fine. Like, but you know, I don't know. Maybe they feel like girls are just there for that reason, which is fair. But I feel like, you know, again, put your best foot forward. You don't need to come on a date and be like, I don't have this, or say that you do have this. You know, just leave it.
I know someone, I won't say my friend, I know someone who's married and she doesn't know her partner's salary.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, so when do you think is an okay time, or is it a right thing to bring money to the table?
Yeah, I don't know actually, because do you need to know their salary? I don't know.
If you're married, I think you need to
Well,
know.
yeah, okay, if you're married, yeah, fair enough. I don't know, but I would probably feel awkward like asking someone. Maybe if you were getting to that point, say, oh yeah, we've never discussed that. But I wouldn't just be like, oh, how much do you earn? You know? Yeah, I don't know.
I think it comes up naturally.
Probably, yeah.
I've
never got that
far. So last one, if they're into crypto.
No, I don't think that's a red flag.
Yeah.
People make good money doing that. So I know that I feel like there is a bit of a stigma for guys who are doing that. But no, I don't think that's a red flag.
I don't understand it.
I don't understand it. I'd love to understand it.
Don't talk to me about it. Do whatever you want to do, but don't talk to me about it.
Yeah. I would love to know how to do it, but I think it's too much numbers for me.
It is.
Yeah, can't do that. But I feel like the girls should be getting onto that because it seems to be like a guy thing. And it'd be really cool if all the girlies were making money doing that.
Imagine.
Yeah.
With our Lambos.
Yeah. There you go. We don't need them anymore. We'll do it ourselves.
We'll be showing up with our Lambos on our Instagrams.
We'll be pulling up, taking them on a date in the Lambo.
Why not? Dream big.
Yeah.
Rosie, thank you so much for joining us. How can people find you if they want to?
Instagram, I am at Rosie Routledge with 2 E's, and same on TikTok. Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking everything
Thank
Dubai
you.
this morning with us. Really appreciate your time.
Perfect. Thank you for having me. It's been great.
And thanks, Masa.
Thank you, Casey.
And that brings us to the end of the Lovin Dubai show. We're back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.